Let me ask you a question. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy shift, not because you said anything, but just because you showed up? Have you noticed people staring, whispering, or even acting strangely around you, and you can't quite figure out why? Have you ever been called too much, too intimidating, or even unapproachable, when all you did was just be yourself? If any of that sounds familiar, you're not imagining it. And no, you're not doing anything wrong. In fact, these might be the dark signs that you're a deeply attractive woman. Not just on the outside, but in a way that disrupts the world around you. You see, true attractiveness isn't just about your face, your body, or your style. It's about something deeper. It's your energy, your confidence, your presence. And let's be real, not everyone knows how to handle that. Being an attractive woman in today's world doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it comes with jealousy, insecurity, and even resentment. Sometimes it means walking through life misunderstood, criticized, or judged, all because your light is too bright for people still living in the shadows. That's why this video is so important. Because we're not just talking about beauty. We're talking about the powerful, undeniable force that radiates from within when you fully step into who you are. And that force, it intimidates, it challenges. It exposes the insecurities of others without saying a single word. But here's the thing, most attractive women don't even realize they have this power. They just think they're too different. They start to question themselves, shrink themselves, doubt their worth, and that's exactly what we're here to destroy. In this video, we're diving deep into the 8 dark signs you're an attractive woman, and I'm not talking about what the magazines say or what society tells you to believe. I'm talking about the subtle signs, the ones that go unnoticed by the world, but are felt in every room you walk into. Some of these signs will surprise you, some might even make you emotional. But by the end of this video, one thing will be clear. You are powerful, you are magnetic, and the way people react to you, that says more about them than it ever did about you. So don't click away. Don't doubt yourself for another second. Stay with me and discover the truth about your presence, your impact, and why being an attractive woman isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Let's begin. 8. Dark signs. You're an attractive woman, the power you don't see yet. Let me open your eyes to something you may have never realized. If you've ever felt out of place, if people stare at you for no clear reason, if you notice subtle hostility in the room when you walk in, that's not your imagination. It's energy, it's presence, and it's a dark sign that you might be more attractive than you think. But I'm not just talking about physical beauty. Because being an attractive woman in today's world goes beyond looks. It's your presence, your vibe, the quiet confidence you carry, the elegance in your walk, the strength in your eyes, the way you handle pain with grace and pressure with poise. See, most people think attractiveness is about makeup, fashion, or features, but true attractiveness is power. And the thing about power is, it makes people uncomfortable. Your presence challenges people who are used to being the center of attention. Your silence speaks louder than words. Your boundaries look like rebellion to people who expect submission. You being unapologetically yourself, even in a world that tries to box women in, that's power. That's why one of the dark signs of being an attractive woman is that you often feel misunderstood. You're judged before you're known. People create stories about you in their heads before you even open your mouth. They'll say, you're intimidating, unapproachable, or too confident. But what they're really saying is, you don't shrink yourself to make me feel comfortable, and that scares me. And you might start to question yourself. Why don't people treat me like they treat others? Why do I always feel watched, compared, or criticized? Why do people assume things about me before they even know me? The answer is simple. You're different. You're radiant. You have a light that cannot be faked, a magnetism that can't be explained. The world sees that light. Some people admire it, some try to copy it, and some try to dim it because they don't know how to handle a woman who stands in her power. But here's the truth you need to own. Your attractiveness is not just in your face, but in your fire, in your resilience, in your self-awareness, in your refusal to play small just to be accepted. So if you've ever felt like you're walking through life with a spotlight on you, not always by choice, but always felt, understand this. You're not crazy. You're captivating. And that light you carry, that's your power. And it's time you stopped apologizing for it. Envy in disguise when compliments hide jealousy. Let's talk about something many attractive women experience but few recognize for what it really is. It's the compliment that doesn't feel genuine. The smile that hides something colder behind it. The friend who always says, "You think you are all that, don't you?" Even when you've said nothing at all. That's not love. That's not support. That's envy dressed as kindness. One of the darker signs of being an attractive woman is that you become a target of passive jealousy, often from people you least expect. Your peers, your co-workers, even people you consider close friends. See, your beauty, your glow, your grace, your natural confidence, it triggers something in others. Not everyone, but those who are insecure in themselves. You walk into the room, and without even trying, you shift the energy. You speak with intelligence, and suddenly someone feels threatened. You laugh, and it sounds like music, so they decide to turn down your volume. Here's what many attractive women don't realize. The world doesn't always respond kindly to beauty. Not when that beauty is backed by self-awareness and independence. Not when that beauty doesn't beg for validation. The prettier, more put together, or more peaceful you appear, the more others project their insecurities onto you. That's when the backhanded compliments show up. You're pretty, but you're so quiet. Are you shy, or just stuck up? I wish I had your confidence, but I could never dress like that. It's so revealing. Your lucky guys just give you everything. Do you hear it? The praise always comes with a twist. Because it's not about celebrating you. It's about reducing you. And you may have found yourself shrinking, toning yourself down, hiding your achievements, avoiding compliments, trying to make others more comfortable, just so you're not misunderstood or made into a villain. That's the emotional tax that comes with beauty, especially when it's wrapped in authenticity. But here's the truth. It's not your job to dim your light just because others refuse to face their shadows. You were not created to be small, just so others could feel tall. You don't owe anyone an apology for being beautiful, strong, or confident. Real friends don't compete with you, they celebrate you. Real sisters don't secretly hope you fall, they help you fly. So, if you've noticed jealousy hiding behind compliments, if you felt tension in spaces where you were simply existing, if you've heard whispers after you walked away, understand this. You're not the problem. Your presence just reveals who people truly are. And that's a dark sign of your power. People constantly underestimate you, then get shocked. Here's one of the most underestimated and oddly powerful signs that you're an attractive woman. People often misjudge your depth. They look at your face, your body, your style, and make assumptions. They label you as just a pretty face before you even open your mouth. They reduce your presence to your appearance. And in doing so, they reveal their own shallow thinking. Attractive women are constantly underestimated. You walk into a room, and before you even speak, people decide you're probably not smart, or you're stuck up, or you rely on your looks to get ahead. It's a frustrating paradox. The more visibly attractive you are, the more people assume you have nothing else to offer. And then you speak, you work, you lead, you execute with power and clarity. That's when the confusion hits. That's when people say, "Wow, I didn't expect that from you." Exactly. Because society still doesn't know how to handle women who are both beautiful and intelligent. Women who are poised and educated. Women who carry themselves with confidence and grace. For some, it doesn't compute. They don't expect you to have a sharp mind behind that stunning face. They don't expect you to have dreams, boundaries, opinions, and fire. But here's where it becomes a dark sign. The underestimation can lead to constant dismissal, especially in professional or male-dominated spaces. You speak, and they talk over you. You bring ideas, and they ignore them, until someone else repeats what you said. You achieve success, and they credit it to your looks, not your hustle. It's exhausting, because you're not just fighting for your space. You're fighting to be seen beyond your surface. And sometimes, this kind of underestimation comes from other women too. The assumptions, the silent judgment, the eye rolls. The idea that you must have it easy. What they don't see is how much harder you have to work to prove that you are more than what they see. But here's where your power comes in. Every time you're underestimated and you rise anyway, you turn the tables. Every time you're doubted and still deliver. You dismantle stereotypes. Every time they expect silence and you speak truth, you make a statement. You are not obligated to meet anyone's limited expectations. You are allowed to be brilliant and beautiful, educated and elegant, soft and strong. You're allowed to shine fully. So the next time someone underestimates you, smile. Let them. Because you know something they don't. They just gave you the advantage. While they're busy sleeping on your power, you're already 10 steps ahead. And that, my friend, is one of the darkest and most satisfying signs of being an attractive woman. People assume you're a threat without even knowing you. One of the darker sides of being an attractive woman is this. People feel threatened by your presence, and you haven't even done anything. You walk into a room and suddenly the atmosphere shifts. Conversations pause, eyes follow. Some women get nervous, some men act weird. And the worst part, you haven't even spoken yet. Why does this happen? Because your confidence, your aura, your appearance, they trigger something in people. Not because you're trying to, not because you're flaunting anything, but simply because you exist in a way that challenges others to reflect on themselves. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many people deep down are insecure. And when someone walks in who looks like they have it together, who looks composed, beautiful and strong, those insecurities flare up. Without even knowing your name, people start building a narrative in their head about you. She must think she's better than everyone. She's probably shallow. She looks like trouble. I bet she's high maintenance. Or worse, let's take her down a notch. This is the reality for many attractive women, being disliked, resented, or misjudged for nothing more than how you look. It's especially intense among other women who haven't done the inner work to feel secure in themselves. They see you as competition, even when you're not competing. They assume you're there to outshine them, when you're simply being yourself. And unfortunately, some of them act on that insecurity through gossip, exclusion, or passive-aggressive behavior. Men can be threatened too. A confident, attractive woman can be intimidating, especially to men who are used to being in control or expect women to play small. Some will try to challenge you just to humble you. Others will feel the need to assert dominance, not out of strength, but fear. Being seen as a threat isn't about you being mean, arrogant, or aggressive. It's often about your quiet power. It's the way you walk with purpose. It's the way you command attention without begging for it. It's the way you love yourself loudly in a world that tells women to shrink. But here's the hard part. This treatment can leave you feeling isolated, misunderstood. You may start to wonder, what am I doing wrong? Let me answer that for you, nothing. Your presence disrupts mediocrity. Your energy awakens what others are suppressing. And your beauty, paired with self-awareness and confidence, makes you powerful in a way that scares people. But don't dim your light to make others feel safe in their shadows. Don't apologize for being the woman who walks in and turns heads, even if those heads are rolling their eyes. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. If they see you as a threat, let it be a reminder. Your power is real, and they know it. So keep shining, not to intimidate but to inspire. Because the world needs more women who are unapologetically radiant. People constantly try to tear you down. When you're an attractive woman, you quickly realize that not everyone will celebrate your beauty. Some will resent it. And one of the darkest signs of being attractive is this. People constantly try to tear you down. They'll try to chip away at your confidence little by little. They question your worth, criticize your appearance, and undermine your intelligence. They'll gossip, spread rumors, or make subtle comments disguised as jokes. And it won't always be loud. Sometimes it's quiet, passive, polite on the surface. But make no mistake, it's rooted in jealousy, insecurity, and the desire to see you fall. Why? Because your existence challenges people. Your presence forces others to confront their own self-doubt, their lack of discipline, or the effort they aren't putting into themselves. Instead of being inspired, some people take the easier route. They attack what they don't understand and can't control. They say things like, she's too full of herself. She probably gets everything because of her looks. She thinks she's perfect. Or worse, let's see how long she lasts. And here's the hardest part. Sometimes the people tearing you down are the ones closest to you. Friends who start acting different, family members who mock your confidence, colleagues who find ways to minimize your accomplishments. The sad truth is people rarely go after what's beneath them. If they're trying to bring you down, it's because you're above the level they're operating on. They see your glow and instead of asking how you built it, they throw shade. But you know what? Let them talk, let them doubt, let them throw stones. Because every insult they hurl is a reflection of them, not you. Their words reveal their wounds, their actions expose their envy. And your job? To rise anyway. You were not created to fit in or play small. You are not born to water yourself down so others can feel tall. You were not meant to apologize for how you walk, how you dress, or how you take care of yourself. They'll say you're too much, but what they mean is, you're more than I can handle. They'll try to break your confidence, but that's because they can't build their own. So let them judge you, let them misunderstand you, but never, ever let them stop you. Because the more you shine, the more their shadows stretch. And that's not your problem, it's their reflection. Stay strong, stay focused, stay grounded. Because no matter how many people try to tear you down, remember this. They only go after what they secretly admire. So hold your head high and keep glowing. You're misjudged as being too much or intimidating. When you're an attractive woman, especially one who carries herself with confidence, independence, and self-respect, you often hear this phrase, "You're just too much," or worse, "You're intimidating." Let's be clear, these statements don't actually say anything about you. They say everything about the people saying them. Because you're not too much. You're not too confident. You're not too independent. You're simply a woman who knows her worth, and that shakes people. Especially those who haven't discovered their own. Because real beauty, the kind that radiates from deep self-love and inner strength, comes with a presence. And that presence makes insecure people uncomfortable. They don't know how to handle a woman who doesn't shrink herself for approval. They don't know what to do with a woman who doesn't need validation to feel valuable. So they try to label you. Too much, too intense, too direct, too picky. But here's what they're really saying. I'm not ready for someone like you. I don't know how to handle your strength. I'm intimidated because I can't manipulate or control you. And guess what? That's not your burden to carry. You weren't created to lower your standards to fit into someone else's comfort zone. You weren't born to walk on eggshells just to make someone else feel secure. You don't need to shrink so others can feel big. You are not too much, you are exactly enough. For the right people. The people who are truly secure in themselves will never be intimidated by your confidence. The ones who are whole and grounded will admire your ambition, your voice, your style, and your boundaries. They will celebrate your shine instead of trying to dim it. But here's the dark truth. Being misjudged is part of the journey. People will project their insecurities onto you. They'll assume you're stuck up because you don't tolerate disrespect. They'll call you high minimums because you set boundaries. They'll say you're cold just because you're emotionally mature and not easily swayed by charm. But don't let the noise confuse you. You're not hard to love. You're hard to play with. So let them misjudge, let them whisper, let them walk away. Because every person who's intimidated by you is just revealing that they're not on your level. You weren't made to be palatable. You were made to be powerful. And if that makes you too much, then be too much unapologetically. Because the truth is, it's not that you intimidate. It's that they're intimidated. People assume you're full of yourself without knowing you. There's a strange phenomenon that happens when you're a naturally attractive woman. Especially when you embrace your beauty with confidence and carry yourself with grace. People start to make assumptions. And one of the darkest, most frustrating signs is this. They assume you're full of yourself. You walk into a room and heads turn. You speak and people pay attention. You dress well, take care of your appearance, and own your presence. But before anyone takes the time to know your heart, they've already written a story in their minds. She must think she's better than everyone else. Why? Because society has trained people to believe that beauty plus confidence equals arrogance. That if you love yourself, you must look down on others. That if you're confident in your looks or your mind, then you must be vain or self-absorbed. But here's the truth. You're not full of yourself. You're full of self-respect. You're full of self-awareness. You're full of self-worth. And those things threaten people who don't have the same. You see, people who haven't learned how to love themselves will often attack women who do. They'll mislabel your self-assurance as conceit. They'll confuse your boundaries with ego. They'll judge your silence as arrogance, when really, you're just not entertaining small talk or shallow conversations. And here's what makes this so dark. It's not always strangers who do this. Sometimes it's your co-workers, your old friends, your classmates, even family members. They don't ask you what's going on inside. They don't care about the journey you took to get to where you are. They don't know about the insecurities you battled, the heartbreaks you healed from, or the years it took for you to finally say, I am enough. They just look at the outside and assume it's all vanity. But they don't realize it takes strength to own who you are in a world that constantly tells women to down themselves. You don't dress up for attention, you dress up because it makes you feel powerful. You don't wear confidence like a crown to show off, you wear it like armor. Because you had to earn it through every battle life threw at you. So if they call you conceited, let them. If they say you're full of yourself, let them think that. Because the right people, the ones who see your soul, they'll know that what you're full of isn't pride. It's power, peace, and purpose. And you should never shrink that to make others feel comfortable. You intimidate people without trying, just by being you. Let's be honest, this one can be confusing and even painful at times. One of the darker signs that you're a truly attractive woman is this. You intimidate people without even trying. Not because you're aggressive, not because you're loud or forceful, but because of something far more subtle. You exist boldly in your truth. And that alone can shake people to their core. You don't shrink to fit in. You don't chase attention. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You just show up. Fully, confidently, unapologetically. And that kind of energy is powerful. It speaks volumes without you saying a word. And yet, that quiet confidence, that strong presence, it makes some people uncomfortable. They can't understand how a woman can be so sure of herself, so at peace, so grounded, without needing constant validation. So what do? They project their own insecurities onto you. They'll label you as intimidating. They'll avoid talking to you because they don't know how to approach you. They'll say things like, you're just too much, or you're hard to read. And let's be clear, this intimidation doesn't always look like fear. Sometimes it shows up as competition, jealousy, or passive aggression. People may try to one-up you in conversations, subtly undermine you in groups, or gossip behind your back, all because your energy makes them question their own. But here's the real reason you intimidate people. You mirror back to them what they haven't yet found within themselves. You remind them of their untapped potential, of the confidence they haven't claimed, of the boundaries they're afraid to set, of the love they haven't learned to give themselves. And instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. But hear this loud and clear, that's not your problem to solve. Your light isn't meant to be dim just because others haven't found their own yet. You weren't born to make people comfortable. You were born to be authentic. And being authentic, being powerful, being graceful, all at the same time, that's rare, that's magnetic. That's what makes you intimidating. So don't dull your shine. Don't apologize for being confident. Don't shrink to soothe the egos of people who refuse to grow. The right people will never be intimidated by your presence. They will be inspired by. They'll be drawn to it. They'll respect it. Because deep down they'll recognize what you are. A woman who knows her worth. A woman who's done the work. A woman who refuses to play small in a world that constantly tries to make her feel invisible. So yes, you intimidate people. But never forget, that's a reflection of your power, not your problem. Now that we've walked through these 8 dark signs, let's take a moment to pause and reflect. Being an attractive woman, a truly attractive woman, is about so much more than looks. It's about presence. It's about how you move, how you speak, how you choose to live your life boldly, authentically, and unapologetically. And here's the truth that many people don't want to admit. Your life will disturb those still living in the dark. Your confidence, it threatens those who are insecure. Your self-respect, it offends those who rely on controlling others. Your standards, they frustrate those who thought they could walk all over you. And your ability to love yourself fully, completely, that intimidates those who haven't even begun the journey of self-worth. But let me tell you something powerful. None of that is your problem. You weren't born to shrink. You weren't put on this earth to dim your light just to make others feel more comfortable. You weren't designed to apologize for your beauty. Not just the physical kind, but the beauty in your voice, your strength, your mind, your spirit. Yes, people may misunderstand you. Yes, they may gossip about you, envy you, try to tear you down, or call you names. But that's not a reflection of who you are. It's a mirror of who they're not yet ready to be. Being an attractive woman means you walk with power, and power always draws attention. Sometimes it brings admiration, other times, resistance. But either way, it means you're impacting people. That's what real beauty does. It doesn't beg, it doesn't chase, it doesn't apologize. It simply is. So, if you've noticed people acting weird around you, if you've felt isolated, misunderstood, or judged without reason, if you've been told you're too much, too confident, or too hard to handle, take that as confirmation. You're not the problem, you're the standard. And some people simply aren't ready for a woman who knows her worth. But guess what? That doesn't mean you need to change. It means you need to rise higher. Keep walking with confidence. Keep holding your head high. Keep being the woman who turns heads, not just with beauty, but with presence, power, and purpose. You're not just attractive, you're unforgettable. And in a world that constantly tries to make women doubt themselves, your strength, your light, and your confidence are your rebellion. So shine brighter, because the world doesn't need more women who fit in. It needs more women like you who stand out, speak up, and own every room they walk into. So the next time someone tries to dim your shine, remember this. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to be seen. And if your presence makes others uncomfortable, it's simply because you remind them of the power they've yet to unlock. Stay bold, stay radiant, stay you. Your light is your legacy, never hide it.